All right, so I am going to read the Enduring Issues Essay Documents for Unit 9.4. Just as a reminder, before we get started, I want to make it abundantly clear that if you are on my Google Classroom, you can find resources in order that you can use to get yourself organized and help you out with this assignment. So if you go to classwork in Mrs. Weston's 9th graders and you scroll down, you will see it says Enduring Issues Essay Resources. If you click on that, you will find all of the enduring issues in a list, and it tells you what it means. You'll find an organizer that might be helpful for you to get this stuff organized. You'll also find a fill-in-the-blank Enduring Issues Introduction guide here, okay? So you have some 3 great resources that you can use in order to get prepared for this essay. All right, so looking back at this essay, or the documents for it at least, if you hear the bell ring at some point, I apologize. So it says, identify and define an enduring issue raised by this set of documents and argue why the issue you selected is significant or important and how it's endured over time. Identify the enduring issue, one enduring issue, based on historically accurate interpretation of at least 3 of the documents. Define the issue using relevant information or evidence from at least 3 of the documents. Argue that this is a significant issue that is endured by showing how the issue has affected people or has been affected by people, and how the issue has continued to be an issue or has changed over time. And include relevant outside information from your knowledge of social studies. Okay? So you're choosing one enduring issue and talking about how it's shown in 3 of the documents. So this is document 1, and I always look at the source first. And it's the Edicts of the Edicts of King Ashoka, an English rendering. It says document 1. I'll wait for the bell to ring. It says the Mauryan Empire ruled parts of India from 321 BCE to 185 BCE. In 269 BCE, Ashoka Maurya inherited the throne of the Mauryan Empire in India. His family created an empire by conquering other kingdoms in brutal wars, and when Ashoka became the king, he continued to fight wars and expand the empire. During his reign, Ashoka converted to Buddhism, and from that point onward, he based all of his government policies on Buddhist teachings. To inform the people he ruled, he had his new laws inscribed on rocks and stone pillars that were put up in public places throughout the empire. These policies were known as Ashoka's rock and pillar edicts. An edict is an official order, so he put these laws on stone and put them up throughout the empire. The excerpt below is from one of these edicts. Happiness in this world and the next is difficult to obtain without much love for the Dharma, much self-examination, much respect, much fear of evil, and much enthusiasm. But through my instruction, this regard for Dharma and the love of Dharma has grown day by day and will continue to grow. And my officers of high, low, and middle rank are practicing and conforming to Dharma, and are capable of inspiring others to do the same. Mahamantras, or Ashoka's officials responsible for making sure Dharma is followed, in border areas are doing the same. And these are my instructions, to protect with Dharma, to make happiness through Dharma, and to guard with Dharma. King Ashoka honors both ascetics, religious people, and the householders of all religions. By doing so, one's own religion benefits, and so do other religions, while doing otherwise harms one's own religion and the religion of others. Whoever praises his own religion due to excessive devotion and condemns others with the thought, let me glorify my own religion, only harms his own religion. Therefore, contact between religions is good. One should listen to and express the doctrines professed by others. Okay, so just to go over what we have here, he talks about how you need to follow the Dharma in order to ward off evil. Okay, and there's going to be officials making sure you follow it. And he also says that religious people of Buddhism and non-religious people or people of different religions are all welcome in this empire, and no one should try to convert anyone else to anyone else's religion. If that makes sense. So it says, whatever good deeds have been done by me, those people accept and those they follow. Therefore, they have progressed and will continue to progress by being respectful to mother and father, respectful to elders, by courtesy to the aged, and proper behavior towards Brahmins and ascetics, towards the poor and distressed, and even towards servants and employees. Okay? So you have to do good deeds and be respectful to others. So, I want you to take a second, and you need to write down in the organizer I sent you, or whatever, a piece of paper. You need to write down any important information, maybe a little summary of what you read here, and what enduring issues are you seeing. Okay, so you need to be able to identify, put as many as you can. So pause this and do that. So document number 2 is from The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbons in 1789. And it says, early in the Pax Romana, a new religion called Christianity arose in the Roman Empire. At first, Christianity was not accepted. Christians were persecuted and killed. However, throughout the 380s and 390s CE, Christianity became a major religion in the Roman Empire. In 313, emperors Constantine and Licinius created the Edict of Milan. This law ended persecution of Christians and encouraged tolerance of Christianity. In 380, Emperor Theodosius I issued the Edict of Thessalonica, declaring Nicene Christianity as the state church of the Roman Empire. So they were persecuted, but now it's the state church. The excerpt below was written by historian Edward Gibbons in 1789 in his book The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, in which he states a controversial and contested claim about one reason for the fall of the Roman Empire. Christianity had some influence on the decline and fall of the Roman Empire. The clergy successfully preached the doctrines of patience and cowardliness, the active virtues of society were discouraged, and the last remains of the military spirit were buried in the cloister where nuns live. A large portion of public and private wealth was consecrated or formally given to the church, and even the state were distracted by religious factions, whose conflicts were sometimes bloody. The attention of the emperors was diverted from camps to synods, or assembly of church officials. So it's saying these churches are teaching people to be kind and good and patient with each other, and so they're not going to be fighting to keep the Roman Empire alive. He's also saying that a lot of the money ended up going to the church and not to keeping the empire running. Okay, so these are some reasons why he thinks that the rise of Christianity led to the fall of the Roman Empire. So you want to pause this, make sure you get down some information about this reading, write down any enduring issues that you see here. Maybe you'll see a pattern starting to emerge. Document 3. It says, starting in the mid-600s CE, Islamic armies conquered vast regions of the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe. The areas they conquered were often home to people who were not Muslims. In those areas, the rulers of Islamic caliphates often made agreements with non-Muslims based on the Pact of Umar, a document that originated in 637 and was the first of these agreements, which was between Umar I, one of the first and most powerful caliphs, and the Christians of Syria. The excerpt below is from a Pact of Umar that was used in the 9th century. It says, in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. This is a writing to Umar from the Christians of such and such a city. When you, the Muslims, marched against us, the Christians, we asked of you protection for ourselves, our posterity, our possessions, and our co-religionists, and we made this stipulation with you. We will not erect in our city or suburbs any new monastery, church, cell, or hermitage. We will not repair any such buildings that may fall into ruins, or renew those that may be situated in the Muslim quarters of town. We will not refuse the Muslim entry into our churches, either by day or by night. We will not open the gate wide to we will open the gate wide to passengers and travelers. We will receive any Muslim traveler into our houses and give him food and lodging for 3 nights. That we will not harbor any spy in our churches or houses or conceal any enemy of the Muslims. We will not teach our children the Quran. We will not make a show of the Christian religion nor invite anyone to embrace it, and we will not prevent any of our kinsmen from embracing Islam if they do so desire. We will honor the Muslims and rise up in our assemblies when they wish to take their seats, that we will not imitate them in our dress, either in cap, turban, sandals, or parting of the hair. We will not make use of their expressions of speech, nor adopt their surnames, and we will not sell wine. So just to pause for a second, so we're seeing that it's this area that was conquered was allowed to keep practicing their religion as long as they came up with some agreements with the Muslims. It's essentially, we're going to keep doing our thing, you do your thing, and we're not going to get in each other's way. That we will not display the cross upon our churches or display our crosses or our sacred books in the street of the Muslims in their marketplaces. We will not recite our services in a loud voice when a Muslim is present. We will not carry palm branches on Palm Sunday or our images in procession of the streets. And at a burial of our dead, we will not chant loudly or carry lighted candles in the streets of the Muslims or the marketplaces, and we will not strike any Muslim. All this we promise to observe on behalf of ourselves and our co-religionists and receive protection from you in exchange. And if we violate any of the conditions of the agreement, then we forfeit your protection, and you are at liberty to treat us as enemies and rebels. Okay? So I want you to pause this, write down any information that you need, and identify at least a couple of enduring issues that you see here. You should see a pattern at this point. Document 4 is called Life in China Under Mongol Rule, Religion. So we're seeing that come up over and over again. It says an important legacy of the Mongols' reign in China was their support of many religions. Islam, for example, was well supported, and the Mongols built quite a number of mosques in China. The Mongols also recruited and employed Islamic financial administrators, a move that led to good relations in the Islamic world beyond China, in particular with Persia and West Asia. The Mongols were also captivated by Buddhism, and they recruited a number of Tibetan monks to help them rule China and promote the interests of Buddhism. The most interesting of these monks was the Tibetan Phagpa Lama. This policy resulted in an astonishing increase in the number of Buddhist monasteries in China, as well as the translation of Buddhist texts. Even Christianity was promoted by the Mongols, partly because Kublai Khan's own mother was an adherent to the faith. There was one religion that did not have Mongol support, however: Taoism. Taoism was at that time embroiled in a struggle with Buddhism that often flared into actual pitched battles between the monks of the two religions. The Mongols, siding with the Buddhists, did not look favorably among the Taoists. So they support all of these different religions. The only one they can't support is Taoism. So pause this. Get any information that you need. Write down the enduring issues that you're seeing. And then document 5. So document 5 is going to be our current document, so this is a way that you can explain how it's still happening today. And it says in 1979, the government in Iran changed from a monarchy to a theocracy. A theocracy is a type of government that is based on a religion. It is run by religious figures, and its laws are based on religious laws. Since 1979, Iran's laws have been based on Islamic law, called Sharia. Though there are elected positions in Iran's government, the ultimate power is held by religious leaders, who ensure that all government actions are in line with their interpretation of the Quran and Sharia law. Shirin Ebadi is an Iranian lawyer and defender of human rights who was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2003. She lived in Iran, where the Iranian Revolution took place and religious government changed the laws. So this is a statement from her. The grim statutes or laws that I would spend the rest of my life fighting stared back at me from the page. The value of a woman's life was half that of a man's, for instance. If a car hit both on the street, the cash compensation due to the woman's family was half that due to the man's. A woman's testimony in court as a witness to a crime counted only half as much as a man's. A woman had to ask her husband's permission for divorce. The drafter of the Penal Code had apparently consulted the 7th century for legal advice. The laws, in short, turned back the clock 1,400 years, the early days of Islam's spread, the days when stoning women for adultery and chopping off the hands of thieves was considered appropriate sentences. So, you're going to pause this. You're going to take some time to write down anything you learned about this document and the enduring issues that you spot. All right, once you complete that, it is your job to write this essay. So again, if you go into my classroom, you will see I have given you an organizer that tells you exactly what your introduction should look like, right? So you should be able to fill this in. You can copy this directly. One example of an enduring issue is, and then give me the enduring issue. Tell me what that enduring issue means. Okay? And then tell me why it's important. You're then going to write a paragraph for each of the 3 documents showing how they displayed that enduring issue. Okay, so if your enduring issue was conflict, for example, you could just say the enduring issue of conflict is seen, and then you have to pick a time period, right? So you could say is seen in the Mauryan Empire during, in the 300s BCE. Okay, and then explain to me how that is seen through this document using direct information. And you're going to do that for 3 documents. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.